you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, ma'am.
On February 16th, officers were dispatched to a disturbance in Harris County, Texas. Officer made contact with the complaining witness who stated that he and the defendant had been in a 2-year dating relationship. Complaining witness stated that he broke up with the defendant and was trying to kick her out of the apartment. And the complaining witness was trying to force her out. The defendant punched him several times in the body, bit him, and broke a wine bottle on his head. The officer observed an open wound on the complainant's head and bite marks.
Okay. Ma'am, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. There's a protective order that has been issued in this case. I would get to know it. If you do something to violate that protective order, the state can and will file a violation of protective order against you. Now's not the time to fight your case. I mean, if you need a lawyer, we can help you with that. Otherwise, you can go hire a lawyer and speak to them and they can help you fight the case. Do you have the ability to hire a lawyer, or would you like a court-appointed lawyer, ma'am? I'll have you fill out an application. I'll take a look at it. Hold on.
I'm sorry, I thought you were saying.
I'm issuing bond conditions on you now. You're not to have any contact. You're not to have any contact with this person. And I don't want you to have any weapons. If I find that you're a danger to my public, I'm going to revoke your bond and put you in jail. Do you understand? Okay, Deputy Remanded, do you mind doing this? Okay, I'll have you sign a reset and then we'll have you take a seat in the box. You are Mr. Pavez Vargas.
Yes.
Sir, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You are facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine.
$2,000.
We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
On February 15th,
El 15 de febrero.
officers observed
Observaron
Nissan SUV failed to maintain a
que no
single lane
mantenía una vía
5 times
5 veces
and observed it
y
to slow down
observaron que
and
bajó la
rapidly
velocidad
accelerate
y rápidamente aceleraba
several times
varias veces
before initiating a
antes
traffic
de
stop.
iniciar el alto.
The officer observed the
El
defendant to be
oficial observaron que
and
el
delayed in
acusado
responding
se
to
tardaba
his
en responder
questions
a las preguntas
and struggled to locate his
y
driver's
luchaba
license.
para localizar su licencia de manejar.
The defendant
El
advised he was coming from a wedding
dijo que venía de una boda
and he had one
y que
beer.
había tomado una cerveza.
Standard field
Le
sobriety
hicieron
tests
las
were performed.
pruebas de campo,
4 out of 6
4 de un 6,
HDN,
HDN,
4 out of 8
4 de un
walk
8,
and turn,
caminar en pulgar,
3 out of
y
4
3
one
en
leg stand.
4 para dar una pierna.
The defendant consented to breath
El acusado dio permiso para dar su aliento
and he blew a
y sopló
.08.
.08.
You said that he
Eh,
5 times
5 veces
failed to maintain a single lane of traffic.
una vía de carril.
And you said that he slowed down
Su
and then
velocidad.
he sped up.
Yes, Judge.
What else?
¿Qué más?
Because as far as the 5, that's just completely conclusory. So I take nothing with it, right? I mean, everybody slows down, goes back fast. So
Bajan su velocidad.
what else do you have as far as any kind of traffic infraction
Entonces,
other than that?
That's
aparte
what I'm
de eso,
reading in
eso es lo que leo.
this judge. Let me see if there's
En
any
esto,
more
señor.
information in the office.
Su señoría, deje ver si hay que no vamos en la defensa en el reporte.
It does say that
Dice
after the
que
emergency equipment was turned on,
Se
the
prendió
suspect failed
el
to
equipo
pull
de
over for
emergencia.
approximately 2 minutes.
que él no se paró por aproximadamente 2 minutos.
I don't know if he articulated more maybe in an OR, but there's just not much there. I mean, Blaze, I can give you a little bit of time if you want to try to pull the OR, maybe like 10, 15 minutes.
Y más para que miren a ver lo que hay. Otros 10 o 15 minutos. Y que no se mantuvo en una vía nunca.
Okay. All right, Mr. Pavez Vargas, I'm going to find that there's no probable cause to go forward in your case. Sir, we have enough death and destruction on our streets as it is. Be mindful of this. If you want to have 15 beers, 32 shots of tequila, take an Uber. Save yourself the trouble.
Tal vez
Do you understand?
entiende.
Yes, sí.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Please. Sir, you're charged with, it's just an UCW, right?
Yes, Judge.
You're charged with unlawful carrying of a weapon. You are facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir. Okay.
On February 15th, officers observed a vehicle with unconfirmed insurance status. A traffic stop was initiated. The officers observed the smell of marijuana coming from the vehicle. The defendant stated that he had marijuana in the car. The defendant handed officers a glass jar containing a blunt of marijuana. There was another half-burnt blunt inside the jar. Officers found a loaded .45 handgun in the driver's side door pocket.
All right, Mr. Mata, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. The only conditions I'm putting on your bond now is that you are not allowed to drive unless you have a valid Texas driver license and liability insurance in your name. Do you understand? If you do not have car insurance, don't drive. It's a part of your bond conditions. I will revoke your bond, put you in jail. Doesn't matter. Car insurance is an important thing that you must maintain. Do you understand?
Sure.
All right, I'm going to have them fill out bond paperwork for you to sign. After that, you'll be free to go. There are no other conditions. Just be careful. Don't pick up any new cases. Otherwise, I'm going to revoke your bond, put you in jail likewise. You've got a lawyer. She will take care of you. She will tell you when you have to come back to court. I will waive your appearance. You don't have to waste your time, but stay in touch with counsel. I'll have you sign a reset. We'll have you take a seat in the jury box. We'll get your bond conditions. You sign it, and then you'll be free to go. All right?
Thank you, Judge.
Thanks.
Have fun.
You too.
I also.
You are on bond for a theft, and now you've picked up another theft and an evading arrest. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
On February 13th, officers were dispatched to a theft call at Lowe's. The officer spoke to the complaining witness, who's the loss prevention officer. The loss prevention officer stated that the defendant entered the store and put a speaker into his backpack. The loss prevention officer followed the defendant around the store. The defendant walked out of the store, passing all points of sale.
Hold on.
To purchase the item.
Oh, you didn't?
Yeah.
I was going to give him a coloring book. Okay, go ahead. So he's in Lowe's?
Yes.
All right.
The complaining witness attempted to stop the defendant. The defendant did not stop. The officer was on scene when the complaining witness was attempting to stop the defendant. The officer told the defendant to stop running, and the defendant did not comply. The defendant ran approximately half a mile from the Lowe's. The officer caught up with the defendant on the third floor of an apartment complex. The defendant attempted to resist detainment. The value of the item stolen was $129. And the defendant started to run from the complaining witness towards the nearby apartment.
Mr. Castillo, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward on your theft and your evading arrest. Deputy Miranda, I'm now revoking your bond on your first case. You will now go into custody. I told you not to pick up any new cases. You've picked up 2 new cases. You will now stay with me. Goes with you.
I'm sorry about that, sir.
Can you appoint him a lawyer, please? I will appoint you a lawyer now, and we'll talk, but no, you can't continue. Unacceptable. You are Trevon Frazier. Mr. Frazier, you're charged with burglary of a motor vehicle. You are facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Officers were dispatched to burglary of a motor vehicle. The complaining witness Hargrove and complaining witness Vargas stated that their backpacks were stolen from their work truck. They stated that their vehicle was unlocked. A witness was able to provide ring camera footage showing a suspect walking across the street to the vehicle. A few minutes afterwards, it was found that complaining witness Hargrove's phone was used to send $400 via Cash App from the complaining witness Hargrove's to the defendant. Officers were able to use this transaction to get a picture of the defendant through the Cash App. The complaining witness Hargroves sent this photo to a cousin and said that a friend knew the defendant from high school. Officers looked on social media sites and matched the pictures to the Cash App account.
Okay. Mr. Frazier, so you also had a theft case. I didn't realize. So you're charged with theft. You're also charged with burglary of a motor vehicle. I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward on both of your cases. When was this? Was this in the middle of the night?
It was
The B&B?
It sounds like the officers were dispatched at 6:23 p.m. Sorry, Judge, 2:23.
So 2:22 in the afternoon. Okay. Mr. Frazier, I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're using, I will put you in jail. Do you understand? I'm going to do everything in my power to protect every single person of Harris County. And if that means making you bond really high and putting you in custody, I'm going to do it in a heartbeat. Do you understand? Yes or no?
Yes.
How old are you, sir?
28. I work at a nursing home. I work at a nursing home.
So you do work.
Yes.
Do you want to apply for an appointed lawyer, sir? Okay, Deputy Miranda is going to give you an application for an appointed lawyer. I'm going to have you supervised. You're not to be in possession of any weapons as well. Do you understand? I'm telling you, behave yourself while you're out there in the free world, because if you don't, the free world will be taken from you. Please, y'all, no contact with the complaining witness. Please. Good morning, Mr. Guzman. Sir, you're charged with criminal trespass. You're facing up to a year in jail because of the deadly weapon paragraph. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
On February 2nd, 2025, at approximately 5:30 p.m., officer was dispatched to 1201 Spencer Highway in Harris County, Texas, for criminal trespass. Upon arrival, officers made contact with the complaining witness, who stated that the defendant attempted to stab him with a knife in the parking lot. Officers attempted to make contact with the defendant, and the defendant began running north through a strip center and tried to hide behind the strip center. The officers told the defendant to get on the ground, and he continued to walk toward officers and refused to take his hands out of his pocket. The defendant was arrested. Officers retraced the defendant's path and located a knife. The defendant admitted to having the knife and stated several males tried to jump him in the parking lot. The defendant stated one male tried to stab him and he was defending himself. Officers spoke to the complaining witness again. They said that he was in the store purchasing items and the defendant was asked to leave by the employees in the store. The complaining witness stated that the defendant refused to leave and got into a verbal altercation with the employees. The defendant left, then waited outside in the parking lot and started asking people for money. The complaining witness told the defendant that employees had asked him to leave. The defendant pulled out a knife and brandished it in his hand and started walking towards the complaining witness. The complaining witness stated that there was about 25 feet between them. The witness saw the defendant walk toward the complaining witness.
So he goes back into the store after he leaves and after they told him to leave.
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Guzman, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. Let me tell you that you're lucky that you're not charged with multiple felonies as well as it is, you know? I am ordering you not to be in possession of weapons and not to go back to this place. Do you understand?
Sure.
If I find that you become a danger to my community, I only have one place for you, Mr. Guzman. You know, really. Where was this? Please.
All one Spencer Highway. Store that. Coming back as a high-tech auto sound.
Do you need a lawyer today, Mr. Guzman?
Sir, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, hired.
I already have an affidavit from Deputy Miranda. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you go sign a receipt with Victoria. We'll have you take your seat in the jury box. I'm going to find your lawyer here momentarily. Do not leave until you sign our bond conditions.
Sir.
You have missed court once. This is your second PR bond that they gave you. You will not get another one. If you miss court again, I'm telling you, your bond will, no more PR bonds. Do you understand?
Thank you for
Giving you a lawyer. All you need to do is stay out of trouble. Make wise decisions.
Sir, could I say,
No,
I just want to
no.
thank you for,
Just,
I called last week and I was supposed to come. I had a car problem. I didn't even think, thank you for giving me the second chance on the PR bond. You know, and I mean, it was, I called, I understand.
You're out. All I'm asking you to do is make good decisions.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I understand, sir.
Give you a lawyer here momentarily. Just, all right. All right. Hang tight. Let me have you sign the reset and then we'll have you go back. Ms. Harrison,
Hey, good morning.
ma'am, you're charged with tampering with a government record. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, ma'am.
On February 15th, officers observed a vehicle temporarily tagged. The officers ran a temporary tag and returned to court. Defendant Martin was the driver and defendant Harrison was the passenger. Defendant Harrison stated that she was the owner of the vehicle and that she had purchased the tag from an unknown individual off Facebook.
Okay. Ms. Harrison, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. Can you run her license, see if she has a valid Texas driver license, please?
Yes, just.
Okay. Ms. Harrison, did you want to apply for an appointed lawyer? Do you have the ability to hire a lawyer?
Apply for one.
Okay. Deputy Miranda is going to give you an application. Do not drive unless you have a valid Texas driver license and liability insurance in your name. Do you understand? These are your bond conditions. If I find that you're driving without either, I will revoke your bond, put you in jail. Understand, man?
Yes, sir.
Okay, please. Mr. Huddleston, sir, you're charged with tampering with a government record. You were facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
On February 16th, officers observed a vehicle with a temporary tag which came back with no return. A traffic stop was conducted. The defendant was the driver and sole occupant. The defendant stated he knew about the tag and had been pulled over the week prior. The defendant stated his mom went to the dealership and bought a new buyer's tag for the car. The defendant did not know how much the new tag was bought for.
So why does Mr. Huddleston get charged then? Oh, it's pled differently. It's pled differently. That's why. See. It's pled here as use as opposed to purchasing, you know? And I think that that's why. So let me see.
And I did notice it showed up as tampering with the record of insurance document, but it looks like on the complaint, it is tampering with the doctor's record here right up to the complaint.
Hereinafter style the defendant heretofore February 16th did then and there unlawfully, intentionally, and knowingly use a governmental record, namely Texas temporary tag attached hereto as Exhibit A with knowledge of its falsity. So one of the parts is it says with knowledge of its falsity.
Yes, Judge.
Does he know of its falsity?
Well, upon the officer approaching the vehicle,
Okay.
he knew immediately what the traffic stop was for. That he'd been pulled over the week prior because of it.
He had been
Yes.
and advised that it was no good. Just read it one more time.
Officers observed the vehicle temporary tag which came back with no return. A traffic stop was conducted. The defendant was the driver and sole occupant. The defendant stated he knew about the tag and had been
Okay.
pulled over for the week.
Right. Okay. All right. Mr. Huddleston, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. Can you run his license, see if he has a valid Texas license, please? I am ordering you as a condition of your bond, sir, not to drive any vehicle unless you have a valid Texas driver license and liability insurance in your name. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
These are your bond conditions, meaning that if you don't follow these bond conditions, a warrant for your arrest will be issued. You will go to jail. No more PR bonds. What's more is you are on felony probation. You've now picked up a new case. Best be on the lookout. It's very possible that they now issue a warrant on you.
His valid is, or his license is valid, Judge.
Okay, so you mind filing that then? No driving with that both, please. Tell me, Mr. Huddleston, do you have the ability to hire a lawyer? No. I'll have you fill out an application. I'll take a look to see whether you qualify. All right? Do not leave until you sign our bond conditions. You understand? Okay, come on.